During a time when Chicanos were fighting segregation and systematic racism, a culture emerged so bold that it challenged the narrative of what art and car culture was, the art of lowriding. Since the 1800s, Mexican Americans had experienced systematic racism, from discrimination to illegal deportations to mob violence to school segregation. Despite decades of institutional discrimination, Mexican Americans found ways to express themselves through art and culture, and one of those ways was lowriding. Some say lowriding started in New Mexico in the mid to late 1940s, and some say it started in the streets of Southern California, but one thing is certain, that in the post-war prosperity of the 50s, lowriding grew in the Southwest from Tijuana, Mexico, to as far north as San Jose and Sacramento, California. Chicanos were lowering their cars from something as primitive to sandbagging their cars, to lowering them by cutting and heating their coil springs and de-arching leaf springs, to even notching their frames. Lowriding grew so much that in 1958, California Vehicle Code Section 24008 was created, essentially banning lowered cars and cars that were under 6,000 pounds, that any section of the vehicle hung below the lower portion of the rim was in violation of that law. But it didn't stop lowriders from expressing themselves through their cars. Enter hydraulic suspension. Some say that the first car with hydraulics was Jim Loke's Ford Fab X, built in 1958. But more often than not, the story that I've read and heard is about Ron Aguirre's 1956 Corvette X Sonnet. But neither of these cars were lowriders in the traditional sense. By all accounts, they were both customs. Either way, the influence of customs on lowriders was undeniable, and it gave early lowriders a way to get around that law that was basically trying to outlaw lowriding. Since then, lowriding has spread across the globe to as far as Japan in the 90s, and far beyond that. Throughout history, you can see lowriding car culture in places like New Zealand, Brazil, and the UK. I say all that to say this: lowriding is not just a style of car, it's a movement. And for many, it's a lifestyle. And for some Chicanos and black folks, it's a part of our culture. If you're a Gen Xer like me, it's memories. For me, it's memories of sitting in my mom's friend's white 1977 Cutlass Supreme, hitting the switch for the first time. Memories of my cousin coming up to Northern California from Chino, California in his 1977 Monte Carlo, sitting on True Classics with a fresh scroll pinstripe job over black lacquer and hydraulics showing it off. It's going to my local newsstand to buy my Lowrider magazine when I was a kid throughout my teen years. It's memories of hitting up the car shows in San Jose with my friends and cruising Story and King after. It's buying my first car and customizing it into a lowrider myself with the help from the OGs, and feeling the pride of busting out one of the only lowriders in my neighborhood in the 90s when lowriding was making a huge comeback. Since then, lowriding has gone way more mainstream, with lowriders in the halftime show at the Super Bowl, arguably one of the biggest sporting events of all time, and lowriders at the Peterson Museum. Lowriding has been pushed to the forefront, more popular than ever, and the culture has proved over and over again that it isn't some kind of fad that it was labeled as in the 80s and the 90s. That's why I feel now more than ever it is important not only do we preserve our culture as Chicanos, but that we tell our own story from our perspective. With the current administration trying to erase us from their history, it is so imperative that we tell our own history through the lens of Chicanos and what it felt like growing up and loving our cultura in the face of hate and racism. Because we were our cultura when our cultura wasn't cool. With the emergence of culture vultures out there and everyone wanting to make a buck off of the thing that we created, and for so long them telling us that we were doing it wrong with the "you ruined your car" comments, or the hate that we would receive from law enforcement for simply cruising your ride down the boulevard that you were so proud of. I remember always carrying my Lowrider magazine with me all through high school. I would have my book bag in one hand and my Lowrider magazine in the other. I was always proud to show off the new volume for that month. And for some of the hate that I got from some people with They ruined that car, or clown cars, or whatever the brand of hate was in that era, but it never deterred me from loving my culture and wanting to build the beautiful rides that I build today. If anything, it pushed me harder to prove to the world that lowriding is here to stay and that I'm going to be one of the people that ensures just that. That's why I'm here to say that lowrider culture matters. It matters because it was created during a time when we as Chicanos were expected to assimilate, and we said a la chingada con eso and created our own style. It matters because it creates space for anyone who can identify with our cultura, no matter what color, creed, or gender. It matters because representation matters, and the more that young Chicanos and Chicanas see our faces and hear our voices talking about the things that matter and our own history, the more it creates space for them to have an opinion and be proud of who they are and where they came from. It's more than just a car. It's an art form, it's a lifestyle, it's our culture, and it's part of our history. If you like this video and you want to see more, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to hit that like and notification bell. I hate asking, but it really does help the channel, and it also helps get the message out. And if you want to check out how to build your first lowrider, check out this video right here.